What happens when a young man born into the harsh realities of one of America's most notorious housing projects evolves into one of our culture's most profound philosophical voices? When raw survival instincts transforms into spiritual wisdom that transcends generations. Nas's extraordinary journey from the concrete storyteller of Ilmanik to the reflective sage of King's Disease represents far more than just an artistic evolution. It mirrors the universal human journey of expanding consciousness that neuroscience and spiritual traditions have documented across cultures and throughout history. What captivates me about Nas's transformation isn't just his lyrical brilliance, but how his evolution across 3 decades provides a perfect case study in how human consciousness naturally expands when we remain open to growth, integration, and higher awareness. Today, we're exploring how Nas's artistic journey illuminates the 4 stages of consciousness development that both modern neuroscience and ancient wisdom traditions have identified, from the hypervigilant observational mind of the youth to the integrated, transcendent awareness that emerges through lived experience and a reflection. Just to note, if you enjoy this deep dive into celebrity relationship evolution, check out my 24-hour live stream channels for more content exploring both singles journeys and relationship dynamics. As a subscriber, you can join the conversation, share your perspectives, and connect with others fascinated by these same topics. Subscribe now and become part of our growing community. When Nas emerged in 1994 with Ilmanik, what immediately distinguished him wasn't just technical skill, but his extraordinary powers of observation. The hyper-detailed documentation of his environment that transformed Queensbridge houses into a fully realized world of complexity and contradiction. This initial stage of Nas's consciousness development perfectly aligns with what neuroscientists call environmental hypervigilance, the brain's natural response to challenging environments that activates our observational capabilities to unprecedented levels. Research from Dr. Bruce Perry at the Child Trauma Academy demonstrates how the developing brain, when exposed to environmental stresses, allocates extraordinary resources to observational centers as a survival mechanism. This explains the almost photographic quality of Nas's early narratives. Lines like, "I never sleep, core sleep is the cousin of death," revealing not just poetic talent, but a neurologically heightened state of awareness. What makes this first phase spiritually significant is how it represents what wisdom traditions call bearing witness, which is the profound act of seeing reality clearly without flinching from its harsh truths. From Buddhism to indigenous practices, this capacity to fully witness reality without distortion is considered the essential first step in consciousness evolution. Nas's early work demonstrates this witnessing consciousness in its purest form, neither romanticizing nor condemning his environment, but seeing it with clarity that transformed personal observation into universal truth. This observational foundation created the neural pathways that would later allow for more complex forms of awareness to emerge in his artistic journey. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Nas's work began displaying the next stage of consciousness development, the emergence of what neuroscientists call cognitive perspective taking, and what spiritual traditions describe as the questioning mind. Tracks like "I Gave You Power," where Nas adopts the perspective of a gun, and "Rewind," which tells a story in reverse chronology, demonstrates a brain that has evolved beyond pure observation to explore multiple perspectives and question fundamental assumptions about reality. This evolution correlates with research on prefrontal cortex development, which continues into our late or mid 20s. Neuroscientists Dr. Sarah Jane Blackmore's study show how this brain region gradually enables more sophisticated perspective taking and abstract thinking. Precisely the cognitive skills Nas displayed as his work evolved from pure observation to philosophical questioning. What makes this phase spiritually significant is how it aligns with what contemplative traditions call the awakening of inquiry, when consciousness begins questioning its own assumptions and exploring reality from multiple vantage points, from Socratic dialogue to Zen kaons or koans, however you want to pronounce that. This questioning mind represents an essential stage in expanding awareness beyond the limitations of our conditioned perspective. Nas's artistic evolution during this period wasn't just stylistic growth, but neurological development made audible. His brain physically developing new neural pathways or networks that allowed for more complex forms of thinking and expression. His increasing willingness to question not just society, but his own perspectives created the cognitive flexibility necessary for the next stage of consciousness to emerge. As Nas entered his 30s and 40s, his work began demonstrating what neuroscientists call narrative integration and what spiritual traditions describe as the wisdom mind, the capacity to create coherent meaning from diverse life experiences. So albums like Life is Good reveal a consciousness that has evolved beyond observation and questioning to integration, synthesizing contradictory experiences into a coherent understanding of life's complexity. His willingness to explore his divorce, fatherhood, challenges, and career ups and downs demonstrates the brain's remarkable capacity for making meaning through narrative integration. This evolution aligns with research from Dr. Dan Siegel at the UCLA, whose studies on integration show how the mature brain creates neural networks that connect previously separate aspects of experience. This integration process physically restructures the brain to accommodate more complex understandings of reality, exactly what we hear happening in Nas's increasingly nuanced perspectives. What makes this phase spiritually significant is how it mirrors what wisdom traditions call the middle path, the integration of apparent opposites into a more comprehensive understanding, from Taoist concepts of yin-yang to dialectical thinking in Western philosophy. This integrative consciousness represents a crucial stage in spiritual development. Nas's work during this period demonstrates this integration process with remarkable transparency, neither clinging to his younger self nor rejecting it, but incorporating all aspects of his journey into an expanded identity. This integration created the neuro foundation for the final stage of consciousness development that would emerge in his most recent work. In his most recent projects, particularly the King's Disease trilogy, Nas demonstrates what neuroscientists call transcendent awareness and what spiritual traditions describe as expanded consciousness, a perspective that moves beyond individual identity to consider collective wisdom, legacy, and timeless principles. Tracks exploring intergenerational knowledge, historical patterns, and universal principles reveal a consciousness that has evolved beyond personal narrative to consider humanity's collective journey. This shift correlates with research on how the aging brain often develops increased activation in regions associated with perspective taking and moral reasoning, creating the neuro basis for wisdom. Studies from Dr. Dilip Jesti at UC San Diego demonstrates how the brain in later adulthood often undergoes a shift towards what he calls cosmic consciousness, increased concern with meaning legacy, and connection to something larger than oneself. This neurological shift creates the capacity for transcendent awareness that we hear in Nas's recent work. What makes this phase spiritually significant is how it aligns with what contemplative traditions call awakened consciousness, awareness that transcends individual identity to recognize our interconnection with all of life. From Buddhists' concepts of non-self to indigenous understandings of collective consciousness, this transcendent awareness represents the flowering of human potential. Nas's artistic evolution into this transcendent perspective wasn't just philosophical growth, but a neurological development. His brain physically reorganizing to accommodate more expansive forms of consciousness. His journey from hypervigilant observer observer of Queensbridge to the philosophical elder of hip-hop demonstrates the extraordinary potential for consciousness evolution that exists within all of us. Nas's remarkable journey from Illmanic to King's disease offers far more than just musical brilliance. It provides a living case study in how human consciousness naturally evolves when given the opportunity to observe, question, and integrate, and ultimately transcend limited perspectives. His evolution from environmental hypervigilance to transcendent awareness mirrors the path of consciousness development that both neuroscience and spiritual traditions have mapped, revealing how our brains are naturally wired to expand our awareness when we remain open to growth and integration. As we reflect on Nas's journey, we're invited to consider our own consciousness evolution. Where do you find yourself on this path? Are you in a phase of intense observation, active questioning, meaningful integration, or transcendent awareness? How might consciously engaging with these natural stages accelerate your own evolution? If this exploration resonated with you, please hit that like and subscribe button to join our community of consciousness explorers. Share your thoughts in the comments section about how Nas's journey reflects patterns you've observed in your own development or in other artists or who demonstrate this evolution. Until next time, remember that consciousness evolution isn't just philosophical geniuses or hip-hop legends. It's the birthright of every human being who remains open to expanding their awareness beyond current limitations. Stay conscious, stay connected, and stay conscious in the field.